Series video demonstration for Fiskars punches. We're going to show you today how to use the corner border punches, and they look like this. They actually have two punches. You have a corner and a border, and we're also going to show you some tricks and new techniques on how to use your regular straight border punches. So let's start with the corner border. The first thing you're going to want to do is cut your paper to size. And the back of your packaging will tell you this as well. There are detailed instructions. You have to cut your paper in whole numbers. It can be even or odd numbers. This is a 3 by 3. You can also do like a rectangle shape. It doesn't have to be a square. If you take a look at this scrapbook page, I've actually used this large corner border punch. And this is the Let Us Entertain You, it's called, on a scrapbook page. So you can go all the way around. You can use it in your matting or, simply insert your photo there. But that just kind of gives you an example that it does not have to be a really small square. As long as you have your paper cut in whole inches, you're good to go. So let's move on how this product works. The first thing you're going to do, you've got your paper cut. You're going to place your paper into your punch. You're going to push your paper against the back of the punch. And then there's a little guideline that is dimensional, and they're all 1 inch apart. And that's the reason for your paper being in 1 inch increments. So you're going to give your corner a punch. You're going to move that out of the way and punch your border. You're never going to punch them both at the same time because this little groove here will pinch your hand, and it is a lot harder to punch. So once you're done with that, and if my paper were larger, I would move over to the next guideline, and I would continue to punch my border until my paper reaches the edge of the punch. And when it reaches the edge, you need to turn so that this last inch, you go back to your corner so that all of your corners are consistent. And we're going to do that all the way around until we get this really pretty border. So then you're going to have this really pretty border, looks like that. Really nice for matting your photos or just putting on a card. Here's what it looks like on a little card using Just Right Stampers Autumn Blessing stamp with the Fiskars Punch. Looks really cute. And the Spellbinder Nestability scalloped ovals. So then, one thing about this design here is that you can actually take some scissors and snip the outside edge of this frame off. If you want to use this punch in a different way, just to get a little bit of a different look, and you can just use the scallop piece of the square. So then that gives you a little bit of a different look, a different unique technique that you can do with that same punch. Okay? Now we do have several designs in the corner border punches, and they all are on our website. And if you have any questions, again, after the video demo, please do always give us a call. Now, one unique thing I want to show you about the border punches, they're really, really nice when you just punch your border. You need to add that extra little color to your scrapbook page. Just like I did on this page here, all I did was I cut a 1.5 inch strip, and you'll see those details under all the punches when you're looking at the product on the website. It's going to tell you to cut a 1.5 inch strip and to punch across one side and then glue it to the back of your paper. And that's exactly what I did here. I added a solid color behind each punch design, and that really makes your punch design pop. It really makes it show out a lot better, and it looks really nice. So you can use a border punch that way, or you can make frames with your border punches as well. So if you take a border punch, and I'll show you exactly how that works, you can make a frame. You're going to have a little piece of paper that's going to hold this together simply because the punch is not designed to do that, but we figured out a way to do it for you. Okay? And then you can also make lace just by cutting a strip of paper and punching both sides of the page, which looks really nice as well. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you on this punch. Normally when I start with a Fiskars border punch, this plate here is the size of my design, so I'm going to line the edge of my paper with the edge of that plate, and that's where I start my border. But because I want to do a frame, there are lines on the punch, and they are exactly 1/4 inch apart. I'm going to move my line, move my paper 1/4 inch to the left of my starting point. So I just went over to the left one line so that I'll have that 1/4 inch to hold it together. Just going to turn it back around so I can see what I'm doing here. I'm going to give it a punch, and once my paper reaches the inside of the punch, I'm going to turn it. And the same consists of doing these punches as the other. You have to cut your paper in whole numbers. It can be even or odd numbers, but it has to be no 1/4 inch, no 1/2 inch marks. It has to be whole numbers, okay? And then you're going to get this cute pattern here, which is really pretty when you stamp a pretty design on there. Or you could do all the way around a 12 by 12 scrapbook page as well. And then here's what I was referring to on making lace. If you can see the hearts there, what I've done is cut a strip of paper 1.5 inch and to the size of this card, and then I punched on one side, I flipped it over and punched on the other side, and then that way my hearts they're not perfectly lined up. They're in a zigzag pattern so that they make pretty lace. And you can do that. It looks really pretty with white paper, or if you put pattern paper on a solid background, it's really pretty that way too. So that's our video on how to do the Fiskars punches. Thanks for joining us, and stay tuned for C3's other videos. Thank you.